Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh. Yeah. It's percolating. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too.
Java,
Percolating.
get a vibe, stay ready.
Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady.
Pull up a chair, yeah, take a sip with me.
Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good
Morning, good morning.
Yeah, the love percolating.
Vibe percolating. Java with Jimmy. Good morning,
That morning.
good morning,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
good morning.
Yeah, the love.
Vibe percolating.
Yeah,
Java with Jimmy. Good morning,
that morning.
percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Java with Jimmy.
percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Java with Jimmy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh boy, got good sound this morning. Let me turn this down a little bit. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is Wednesday. What is with me in the dates this week? Today is Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. And I am excited today to have a conversation in the vein of We Need to Know Wednesday, that we need to know that there are agencies, individuals, and people at the state level that care about your mental wellness. And so I'm excited this morning to speak with Dr. Funmi. I am going to ask her to pronounce her last name. You all laugh at me when I butcher folks' names. So we're going to have her say it first, and then I'll try. Don't forget, we're going to have this James pronunciation show soon, so y'all can laugh at me and putting random words and try to see me pronounce them. But I'm excited today to bring to you the Office of Behavioral Health, Prevention and Programming. I believe I have that right, and she'll let us know. I want to shout out our good friends Daniele and folks over at ASG, Josiane, Alejandra, that liaised and made this conversation happen. There's so much going on in the world right now, and especially when it comes to folks that look like Dr. Funmi and I that will be on the screen. Everybody is dealing with something, but as I said to her, in the space of maintaining our mental wellness and addressing our mental illness, if America catches a cold, the Black community and diaspora gets the flu. And so we're going to chat with her about the services that are offered there and some of the programming, as well as provide you a phone number that you can call 24/7. We know about things, lines like 988 and things like that, but there's a direct line to this office. And so without further ado, I would like to bring in this morning, and you all do me a favor in the comments, welcome her to the Java Cafe. Dr. Funmi.
Good morning. It's such a pleasure to be with you and to be in this space with every one of you today. Thank you for having me. My name is Funmi Aguocha, and originally from Nigeria, from the name you can tell. So I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Office of Behavioral Health Promotion and Prevention.
Promotion and prevention, not programming, but promotion and prevention. Say your last name again so the folks can go ahead and get their laugh out at me.
Aguocha.
Aguocha.
Yes,
I got it right.
you got it right at first time.
Okay, that's used that may be a first in itself. But welcome to the Java Cafe. I'm so glad to have you here to have this conversation. And so before we get into the conversation of the work, I'd like to hear from you. What informed your work to be, in this space as a Black woman coming from the motherland? We understand in the diasporatic cultures, it's an interesting lens and purview that a lot of our cultures and community have when it comes to maintaining our mental wellness and addressing our mental illness. And so I am so looking forward to hearing your story as a Black woman leading in this space and moving. How did you get here? Tell us any and everything that you would like to.
Absolutely. And so my journey to behavioral health really started as a young adult. I would actually say as a child. I think I was about 10 years old at the time. A close family friend started college and experienced significant health crisis, mental health crisis. And in response to that, started using drugs and alcohol to cope, and he was not able to finish his education. And even though I did not fully understand what was happening at the time, but I remembered it having a great impact on me. And that led to my curiosity and the concerns about mental health and how do we shift the narrative around how people struggle, what are the services available to them. And so that earlier experience ultimately changed the trajectory of my educational part. And so when I came here as a young adult now, I studied psychology at UMass Boston. So shout out to UMass Boston. And
That's
then
where I
went
go.
on, yeah, then went on to complete my master's at Northeastern University. So I am a Boston bred and grown in the space of education, applied educational psychology from Northeastern University. And then over nearly almost 3 decades now, I've had the privilege to work across all behavioral health continuum in various roles. So cutting across mental health service delivery in wraparound programs and support, intensive program, residential and special rehabilitation treatment, manage multidisciplinary teams, led a site office at the Department of Mental Health in Plymouth, providing service delivery to 10 cities. And within that time, I completed my doctorate in leadership and organizational psychology from William James College. So there is a bit of systems. I'm also a systems person, like helping to build systems that are sustainable. And so, yes, that's some part of my journey that has led me here. I've served as a chief executive office, chief operating officer at the Brookline Center, and during that time helped to expand the school tele behavioral health systems in Massachusetts. So, and now I'm here as the chief, as the assistant commissioner for the Office of Behavioral Health Promotion and Prevention, and really taking charge of what this office is commissioned to do and to expand behavioral health promotion and prevention across the state. So I'll pause here.
Well, you're good. I'm glad to hear that, and it's so interesting to hear about the systems piece of that. I move in mental health, but also politics and understanding personalities, group dynamics. I'm very intrigued by that sort of piece there. We're just going to pause for a minute because we can hear that either the firemen or the police are trying to get somebody together. And hopefully everything is well with what's going on in that incident. And so, Dr. Funmi, if I could ask you, I would presume one of your goals or responsibilities there in the office and then all along in your work and being a Black woman and understanding the various cultures in our diaspora, with as much as therapy and mental wellness is trending, it's sort of this sexy thing now that, have we really demystified addressing mental wellness or maintaining our mental wellness and addressing our mental illness? Like, what does it mean have we, and then if you believe that we have, What does that look like? And if we haven't, talk to us about demystifying mental health.
Yes, I think, I'll start by saying that demystifying mental health is helping people to really understand that mental wellness, right? Mental wellness is not something that is mysterious. It is not shameful. It is not only relevant when someone is in crisis. I do want to underscore that, because I believe that when we talk about mental health, we're only talking about mental health as it relates to crisis, right? And so mental health is not only about illness. And that's the demystification that needs to happen. And that's the stigma reduction that needs to happen. It's about how we connect, how we live, how we cope. I would also add that mental health is not the absence of mental illness. And that's an important piece that I want to really emphasize here today, is that we think that when you have a mental health condition, that you don't have good mental health. I've been in this space for 27 years in Massachusetts, and I've seen people thriving with mental health condition where their mental health well-being is intact, right? They're able to cope well, they're able to contribute productively and fruitfully in their communities and even in their workplace. And so the ideology that mental health is mental illness is what we need to demystify and really help people to understand that our mental health is just as important as our physical health, and vice versa, right? And so they play an integral part in terms of their connectivity. And so we can't take that away, right? And so demystifying mental health is having conversation like this that we're having, Jimmy, here today, making it culturally relevant, establishing that comfort around mental wellness. Thank you to you and your community for creating a space for Mental Health Mondays. I was listening to Dr. Ronke the other day, and just hearing about the conversation she was here having with you around depression and anxiety. And so, yes, this is the space to have that, and within our community that is relevant and that is informative, and creating that awareness.
Absolutely. And, generally, demystifying mental health is something, no matter your race or creed or ethnicity, in different communities, demystifying it happens at different levels. And I'll just go ahead and say it like this. When it comes to us, there's a little, because for various reasons, we, how the medical industry maybe has entreated and engaged us in some cases. And even saying that, I want to affirm what we often say in this platform is the medical and the mental. It's the nervous system and where things happen, and it's all one system. And I think even demystifying the separation of the two is something that we have to work on. But I want to ask you, with that demystifying and everything that you named, do you believe that it is important, and is it a priority to ensure that Black communities, especially in the times that we're in, are a focus of your office and the services that you offer out of the office, or through partnerships or grants or things like that?
No, absolutely. One, the work of this office mission is to create a thriving and resilient Commonwealth. And so promoting behavioral health and overall wellness for the residents, preventing mental health conditions, including substance use before they happen, advancing suicide and violence prevention efforts, and overall reduction of stigma is the premise of this office. And we really take that from a health equity approach. And what do I mean by that? That we want to make sure that we concentrate on our communities that have been marginalized, right? And so that is critical. One, in terms of our campaign efforts was led to have imprint in and communities where we classified as AM communities. This is through the work of Governor Ely's office and the Executive Office of Human Services with Dr. Mahania, and really identifying those cities and making sure that there's imprint of our campaigns as well as our grant opportunities within those communities. And so, yes, so all of that to say that the goal is that we are increasing initiatives around behavioral health promotion and prevention across marginalized communities in the Commonwealth.
And as a marginalized community, as I said in these times, you know, how do things like we hear a lot of talk about affordable housing, job stresses, work-life balance, discrimination, social isolation. We're coming up on 6 years of, COVID-19, and a lot of people are reliving those memories, of isolation and things on social media. Memories and things are coming up. And so, how do stressors like that impact our maintaining our mental wellness? Or in some cases, certain stresses may even exacerbate or bring to surface, I see you lean in there, a mental illness. And so how do those stressors fight our mental wellness? And are you aware of a situation, I'm sure, where, there was a stressor, and in either your therapy or, sometimes there are chemical imbalances that contribute to, some mental illness. So how do job stressors impact weighing on our mental wellness and then may exacerbate some mental illnesses?
No, absolutely. I think I would want to start by, first of all, saying that for our Black and Brown communities, we've carried incredible strength and faith and community care in the face of inequalities, traumas, and yes, in recognizing that, we also understand that there are active social determinants of health, and the way that I classify it, social influences of health, right? That shapes our environment, that shapes how we live, it shapes how we connect, how we work. And when we have access that are limited to all of this critical needs, it affects our mental health, right? We're not able to really show up at work or learn or connect the way we are expected to. So strengthening those social conditions are really essential to promoting our wellness. And I believe that there is a connection across all the work that we do, either from the governmental space to our community space, to organizations, that we can continue to work together to alleviate some of the social determinants of health and how they show up, from chronic stress. We realize that stress within itself, which is also connected to our mental health, also leads to medical issues like heart disease and other health conditions, right? We understand that discriminations, layered with all aspect of even showing up within your best self is related to your psychological distress. So prevention, right? So this is the work of my office. Prevention really focuses on strengthening those protective factors in our communities, the social connection, to the access to stable spaces, the shift in our routine and trusted community resources like this space that we're having right now. It's a way of really educating around those prevention efforts, right? And so for me, it's critical that we strengthen those protective factors. And sometimes we throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And what I mean by that is we take out the important things that is important to us, as especially, you talked about the diaspora, and when you move into a new country or you're in a new space, you tend to embrace, the individualistic nature of our community. And for us, the Black and Brown people, we love gathering together. We love our community spaces. We love our faith-based spaces. So how do we embrace those and make that what helps us to keep well? And I'll say this, and I'll be quiet. Recently, I read a research, right, that says that talks about singing and communal space for at least an hour helps with your mental health and mental stress.
Hold on. Did you say singing for an hour in community?
in community spaces,
Okay.
right? And so for the Black and Brown community, we already have that. We have our faith-based organizations
Yes.
and
Yep.
churches and mosques. We have our community activities, and people are going to age me right now. When we come together in the summer, we have YMCA dances and electric slides and do all of this together. And those are important. Those are the food. We come together on the food table. We can always have all the simple engagement that we can have together that really improves our awareness, improves our stress levels, and make us more engaged with our mental health, as well as being able to show up fully for ourselves and the communities we serve.
Dr. Fumi, I don't know if Daniele told you, but I could have one flow of conversation in my head, and then my guest says something and we're on a whole different track. So I'm going to try to stay focused, but that stood out to me as someone that grew up in church. And I'll be transparent. I used to, even to the expressive praise of what some folks call shouting or dancing. I've thought over the years that's an outlet. That is a release. And even in the faith that it's going to get better, and so that really stood out to me because I used to sing and things like that. And so when you said that, I'm like, maybe I need
That's
to
a connection. I sing too, so maybe there's something going on in there.
listen. But the faith thing and gathering, as you said, is a part of our culture. I believe it's a part of all cultures, and how across specifically the diaspora we lean in may vary. And so you understand that. How do you within the office ensure that those cultural differences are understood, and in your office's engagement with the public, how do you ensure that we have, oh God, this is another one of those sexy terms, cultural competence, or you know what I mean? Like I'll just stop and ask you to respond.
Yeah, the Office of Behavioral Health Promotion and Prevention, we believe that taking an approach that is community driven and culturally grounded. And one of the earlier work that I did when I came on as the Assistant Commissioner in 2024. So this office is really new, legislatively mandated in 2022, and it was established in 2024. So we're still relatively new, but what was important to me was really getting information from communities, right? So we released what we call a request of information, and and we got a lot of responses. Actually, I thought it was a marginal response, but from a state entity to get 51 responses because people wanted to let us know, what the gaps and how to alleviate the gaps and what's currently effective in terms of behavioral promotion and prevention. And then we held a series of listening sessions, and those listening sessions actually drove the way we forecast the campaigns, right? The campaign that we're currently embarked on. So rather than imposing one method or goal, our goal is to support the solutions that is already happening in the communities. And so with our grant efforts, we released the grant, which is wrapping up right now. We're about to, hopefully in the nearest future, I can't put a date on it yet, release some grants that will be awarded to communities, organization in the community, not prescribing how they need to do the work, but we're saying this is where we want you to affect change. We want to affect change in loneliness and isolation. We want to affect change in youth and our young people. We want to affect change in maternal health. We want to affect in sociological, psychological well-being of our immigrants. We want it to affect change in spousal violence, right? And really creating opportunities for the communities to design. So we have a tier that is focused on designing something new in your community and telling us how you're going to do it and how you're going to make that change happen. And so these are the ways in which we see cultural relevance and making that as an effective way of hearing from the people and having the people design what they want. And that was one of the things that I had during my conversation with people across the state. And I was very intentional in terms of making sure that everything we had that could be addressed through this grant, we were able to put it in within the grant structure.
All right, just for clarity, because I have a couple of folks on here, I have a young men's suicide prevention program commenting. I have a young man from the motherland that does some work in more of the system space and around finances and different things. As you said, community, I just wanted to highlight a couple of comments for you. Learning to manage the day-to-day stresses of our community is critical, and we must change the narrative around mental health supports, normalizing it. Thank you again for this. And then Brother Leonard said, how are you making sure our behavioral health data actually includes fathers, especially Black fathers, men in the diaspora, so the mental health needs are not invincible? And I think you kind of spoke to that when you said you traveled around the state. But to Leonard's point and Sarita's point, I just wanted, when you said community, I just wanted to share that question with you, and then also Sarita's appreciation and affirmation of, because it's they're the macro things, but the term, the straw that broke the camel's back, it's those daily stresses that Sarita referred to. So I didn't know if you wanted to respond specifically to Brother Leonard about the, incorporating Black fathers, because there's, from my work with young men, there is a mental health impact for whatever reason that both parents are not maybe together, or things didn't go how they wanted to initially. I've seen a lot of Black men, the impact on their mental health when it comes to not being able to properly, the way they want to engage with their children. There is an impact there. So kind of off the cuff, but I didn't know if you wanted to take 30 seconds and just talk about that, or I'm not presuming it wasn't raised before. This may be something that's on your radar.
No, absolutely, and thank you to
Leonard.
Leonard. Thank you for that question. I would say that we are very intentional around issues relating to parental well-being, right? And so there is aspect of our work that is looking at family stress, which is inclusive. So I did mention that in one of the highlights of some of the programming that we're looking at is family stress in general. And so that also creates a space for fathers and the well-being of our fathers, and to be part of the programming that is going to be created from this office. So thank you for that question, because it helped me to remember one of the other areas that we're focusing on, which is family stress. And, that is inclusive of both parents in the household.
Not only fathers, but Dr. Funmi, how can families support mental well-being? Sometimes there's in our culture, we may say big mama or the auntie or the uncle. How can families support the mental well-being of their immediate family, and then not to put too much work on those folks, but maybe even within the greater family community? Let's keep it there. How can families be intentional? As I'm asking you that, things come to mind, like if someone's having an issue, you always got that, I don't want to say that, but you always got someone that's cracking jokes or not understanding the impact of making light. And so that just came in my mind, just asking the question, but how can families be more supportive of maintaining mental wellness and then also addressing mental illness?
No, absolutely. Family plays an important and powerful role in supporting wellness and well-being in the home. And so for me, I would say taking practical steps on our webpage, what's on mass.gov/what's on your mind. We've created pathways where people can have conversations with their kids, realize early signs, but really checking in regularly. I think it's important, having that phone call, listening without judgment. Thank you for Jimmy for mentioning that, the fact that it's not something lightly when somebody's saying that they have a mental health difficulty, and to really embrace that from a family setting as well, creating space for shared activities in the family and in the home, encouraging that rest and balance, and reducing those social isolation, really creating that space for that wholeness to happen from a family perspective. And especially for our young people, really they need to feel heard, they need to feel seen, and so that support starts from the home. And so I'm repeating your comment again in terms of people jesting about mental health. I think for each one of us, it's critical that if someone says they want to have a conversation about their mental health, they see you as a safe space, and so become that safe space. We need to become that safe space for one another. And so strong family relations are absolutely one of the critical spaces for that protective factors to be made or to be exemplified. So connection is one of the most important form of prevention.
It's interesting, as you were talking earlier about the singing, coming together, and food. Tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, I have a young lady coming in to talk about like a liberated, mental wellness. And we were talking last night, and she mentioned that in our culture, we have been doing maintenance of mental wellness and addressing mental illness, maybe not from a psychopharm or clinical standpoint, but we've been addressing mental illness for generations. And so getting back to that point about family is definitely important. But sometimes, Dr. Funmi, our families are not constructed in a manner that is always conducive to progress. Therefore, there are times where organizations get involved. You mentioned grants. You may fund some, what is it called? Mentors or family therapists or coaches, to help people. How do you share your approach to mental health? The organizations that you're working with that will receive these, grants, how and what should the organizations be? Not should. How would you like to see the organizations help maintain mental wellness and address mental illness?
No, one of the points that you made earlier, just wanted to connect back to that in terms of family structures, right? And so really expanding of our definition of family structures. So there is, the community family structure, there is the work family structure, and not to take any of those things lightly, right? And so the space of community organization, or what community organization plays, they are the first and the trusted point of support, right? They are the first and the trusted point of support. And so we want to amplify that, amplify their voices, amplify the work that they do through the grants that we'll be providing. And knowing that trust takes time and consistency, we want to embrace prevention from the outreach of organizations that already are in the communities, understand what is happening in their communities, and knowing that people will seek the communities first, right, before they go to a healthcare system. And so really turning to our local organizations, where we'll be funding in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, and also recognizing that even in our campaign, we went to our local communities through community engagement. We partnered with community-based organizations. We went to market squares. We went to where the activities are happening to bring this awareness information. And we're already hearing back, even for example, from the campaign efforts, as people drop by into those spaces, they're like, oh, we didn't know this is happening. We love the representation across ages, across demographics. It was really important to me that we made this campaign about people and not just sharing information, but I want people to connect, see themselves in the campaign. They can see their child, they can see their brother or their uncle, and it doesn't have to, they can see a sister or a father or a mother in it, and it doesn't have to feel like something that is about somebody else, right? Like we can all connect to it.
That connectivity is definitely key and important. And I was getting ready to ask a question about, we talked about systems, and there's a brother here that I want to bring to your attention. I love his passion. And a side note, are you issuing an RFP, or the RFP went out and you're getting ready to do the awards? The reason why—
Yeah, so the RFA is a grant application already went out. It went out in October
okay.
last year,
Okay.
and we got over 246 applications. So
Okay.
it was quite the reception of it was really great, and
Across—
so we're ready now to
issue those.
issue those
Okay.
grants out. Yeah, so that's where we are.
Two things in the next iteration, if you do that, and hopefully our good friend Maura Healy will make sure in the legislature that this is either level or more funded. What Frederick is saying is we have to shift the narrative of mental health wellness. The issue isn't our minds, it's the environment shaping our minds. Chronic neighborhood violence, PTSD, diagnosis, extreme poverty issues, anxiety disorder, institutional neglect, and so on and so on. And I guess that's I hate to say good segue. I guess that leads to the next question, that how, from a mental health standpoint, you mentioned you watched Dr. Ronke's episode, and we got into the conversation about depression and anxiety being sort of a second tier. There's that undercurrent of like those systems and things to which Frederick referred. So how do we, with some systems and things that we distrust, how do we still make sure we prioritize and get what we need, even if sometimes, it's a struggle? Presumably not as much from your office, but to that point of with distrust of formal systems, how do we, I won't say trust, how do we get what we need when it's within a system?
Yeah, I strongly believe that I think the word trust is okay, because we have to recognize that for community of colors we've had historical reasons to be skeptical, right? We cannot diminish that or reduce the value of those experiences. But on the other end, I think that's where prevention is critical, and promoting awareness of this sorts, right? That we are creating and making those service opportunity available, right? One, we're creating the awareness. Second, we're building in the system of, like our campaign, for example, easy access to services if that's what is needed, right? And so our goal is addressing this by partnership with organization, partnership with our local communities, helping our partners be the channel of how this information is released. So one of the things that is also, for me particularly, is going to our local communities, right, to have this message being imprinted within our communities. So even the conversation I'm having with you right now, right, is the way to really bridge that trust, to say that this is available. These levels of initiatives are available within the Commonwealth, and we want everyone to be part of it, and we want everyone to benefit from it. And so that's the work that we're doing, to do community-based organizations that is really strong on relationship building, but also cultural competence and humility in terms of knowing what's in our communities. Yeah,
absolutely. I wanted to do a plug just for when you mentioned the campaign and talking about those systems, and thank you for sort of challenging me and saying, Jimmy, it's okay to use the word trust, because we should be, oh, see, I'm struggling right now. We should be able to trust these systems, but anyway, kind of to your point of what you were saying and what Sarita said earlier, I'm a little bit over time with you, and I don't know if you have anything scheduled or late, but if you give me about 5 more minutes, I just wanted to ask like something very simple to Sarita's point about every day. Out of everything we talked about today, this at the end, I think, is going to be the sweet spot for us from your either clinical perspective. And disclaimer, Dr. Funmi has not examined you. You're not sitting in front of her, and she is not giving a clinical assessment. But I would ask you if you could recommend some ways. You kind of started to touch on in your last response. How do we handle everyday stresses on a daily basis? I think things are more exponentially compounded in the last year or so. And so how do we in an everyday manner keep ourselves well and maybe recognize when we may need to, and I say this, go lay on somebody's black couch. That used to be the image of therapy. So some suggestions for handling stressors every day.
Yeah, mental health prevention every day is important for us, right? And so creating conditions that protect and strengthens and sustains our wellness before they start. I think one of the things that I want to stop saying that is really saying before the crisis starts. No, like before you even think about crisis, right? And so what are those day-to-day tips that we can have? One, I would say it again, I think I've repeated this so many times in this conversation, strong relationship, that social connection is really critical, and it doesn't have to be defined. So please, I think really thinking about ways in which we can refine our social connections. It could be through communities, it could be in the workplace, it could be friends and families. Daily habits, and making those consistent routine, from our sleep, physical exercise, and even walking. You don't have to have a gym membership, but taking a walk around, eating nutritious food, mindfulness, prayer, meditation, outdoor activities. Especially now, I'm so ready to be outside. I'm glad we're no longer buried in snow.
Hold on. Let me just challenge your mental wellness a little bit. Forecast says it's going to be 17 degrees next week.
Oh no.
And we've talked about this seasonal affective disorder.
It is.
This year for me, I had it.
I'm with you on that. Yes, I am with you on that, because it's really I think we cannot underscore the effect of the seasonal changes on us, both physically, biologically, and mentally, right? Because, the fact that you don't have the access to move the same way you could move
before the snow.
And even though it's just 3 months of going through that torture, it's really, and that's why we did our campaign on social isolation, especially in the winter time, realizing that having some connection to people, even though it's through phone, and just having a conversation with someone, or even eating a meal with someone and they're on the screen and you're just having a conversation. So there are different ways in which we can continue to make our social connection really robust. Reducing, I can't say that and now say screen times now. Reducing and limiting screen time for ourselves and our young people. I know that, we have to balance all of those things. Parents helping their kids to name their emotion. I think you had that conversation with Dr. Ronketu as well. But on our webpage, we've given parents ample skills, tips, to really have that conversation on what's on your mind. mass.gov/what's on your mind. It's a great levels of resources on day-to-day tips that you can use to really learn about social emotional learning and other things that are listed in that space as well.
I want to and at some point I may want to connect you with the good brother Frederick, because he's driving the point that we've talked about before. He made a comment, we can't handle the day-to-day. I challenge you, Frederick, on that, because our ancestors actively living right now, it hasn't been the best, but he's also saying this is why we have the life expectancy gap. Your body can activate stress response without conscious awareness. So prevention and housing stability, it's equity, closing the wealth gap, things like that. I do agree, Frederick. The only thing I would push back on is that we're handling it. I won't say that we can't, we're handling it. Dr. Funmi, we are about 15 minutes over time now. I just wanted to ask you, what is it, what you just said is a part of it, but is there anything today that you want folks to walk away with besides, I'm putting up this information and I'll share it on my page later, but the 24/7 behavioral health helpline is 833-773-2445. And if you're on the internet, you can visit mass.gov/what's on your mind. Is there anything that we missed today that you wanted to make sure that this audience and the community knows about?
I mean, I would say that mental health, and just want to reinforce that mental health, one, is not mental illness. So really want to reinforce that. And mental health promotion and prevention strengthens our communities, and small shifts in understanding can lead in meaningful long-term impact, right? And so that's what I really want people to take away with them today, and also learning more about the resources that we provide on our webpage.
Absolutely. And a shameless plug, but some of your counterparts in the department, we've been talking about intentionality of entities supporting this social media and community media space. So shameless plug, but when you all do the grant round again, maybe put some social media or you know what I mean, media with the campaign piece in there, but shameless plug, but or shameless request rather, because this, as you said though, these are spaces to have these conversations. And so
Absolutely,
absolutely.
And that, well taken.
Yes.
So thank you.
I thank you for coming in today and spending a little bit overtime, but spending this time with us. And I'll make sure that I post the flyer and the website on my page as well. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Funmi. And as the old folks used to say, keep on keeping on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to joining you.
Thank you. And as other things develop, please let ASG know, and we'll figure it out.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Brother Frederick, I love you, dude. I just, anyway, I can't wait till we break bread. I'm glad that Dr. Funmi came in, and there's some other, that was from, she's in an office that's under the Department of Mental Health, but I just chatted with some folks at DPH this week, and there is a lot of intentionality, at least from these folks that I've talked to, about community engagement and also supporting with the S and the line through it about those that are, on the ground doing this work. So once again, I just want to share the information with you. What's on your mind? This is the campaign that they're working on, and they're promoting. Visit mass.gov/what's on your mind. And you can call the behavioral helpline at 833-733-2445. In addition to that, we just wanted to share some more information with you, and we will be back with you in just a couple of seconds.
Know Better, Live Better is a community-centered campaign connecting people of color to HIV prevention, testing, treatment, and sexual health care without judgment and without pressure, right here in our community. And there are many other sites ready to support you too, because care should meet you where you are, and knowledge should feel empowering.
Visit lesbegayurbanfoundation.org/live better to see all care sites and get connected.
If you would like more information about that event, you can go to shortlinkjwj.info/blue. I think that's what it was. Go check that out for that event that is taking place 2 weeks from this coming Saturday, the 14th. A couple of other things I wanted to mention to you tonight. We have 2 Java After Darks this week. Tonight, we are speaking. This one's a little bit lighter. We're speaking with a good friend, a songstress, as I call her. She has sang backup for Mary J. Blige, Jasmine Sullivan, a lot of other artists. She's an artist in her own right. She is being featured once again at Grace by Nia this Saturday night. And when I saw the flyer, I was like, yo, Tiff, you want to come in Java After Dark? And we're going to talk about just her journey. And also, she doesn't know it yet, but I'm also going to tap into her about her perspective on how music impacts our mental health, and then also is a tool for us in this fight for equity. And so Tiffany Freeman will be with us tonight at 8 p.m. And I tell y'all, she's cool. That's my sis, but I still respect her in that celebrity type status. So we got Tiffany Freeman coming into the Java Cafe tonight after dark. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we have Brother Rasan Hall, who is the president and CEO of the Urban League. There's been a lot of conversation about the Urban League and NAACP. Well, at least the Urban League is coming in. And I think that deserves this. So Brother Rasan Hall will be with us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Then tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., for those of you that have BNN, and I believe you can watch it online, I will be with Brother David Halpert at BNN for neighborhood Talk of the Neighborhoods, taking place tomorrow at 6:30. And we're going to talk about Black Boston politics, and I'm the guest. So it's going to be interesting. And then at 8 p.m., we are coming back with our sister Ayala, who is a psychotherapist that moves in the space of real. And a lot of what Dr. Funmi said today, when I talked to her last night, she talked about the tribes and the culture and what our, elders would do and things like that. So we're going to continue. This space is a health and mental health space. I am excited to see what the city of Boston is doing and Dr. Basola is doing. I'm a part of the men's subgroup for this Live Well campaign, the men's health subgroup. I'm a part of that. I don't know if I should have announced it here, but they'll be announcing it soon. All that is good, but to a lot of Frederick's points and Sarita's points early, and I may have missed some others, that is fine. But until we start addressing a lot of the generations and decades old system, we talk about mental wellness and mental illness. Let's talk about system illness. All right, I feel something coming. Let me get ready to get off of here. We're a little bit over time today. But we will be with Rasan Hall tomorrow. We will be with Rasan at 10, and then Sister Ayala at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So 2 Java After Darks this week. Tonight at 8, tomorrow at 8. I'm just going to finish up with a couple of comments, and we are going to get ready to go. Hi, Miss T, Brother Leonard. Good to see you as always. I'm glad she touches on the men's stuff. Thank you. But they can definitely do way, way better. But I'll stop there. Thank you, sir. Behave, sir. You and Frederick need to meet up. You know what? I haven't had the last in-person event we had was the Red Cup Awards. Maybe I need to do a Java with Jimmy. Yo, my dude, this respect, bro. Respect, man. Mama Java said what time tonight? That's at 8 p.m. tonight. Tiffany Freeman will be with us. Matter of fact, let me just, since I'm a little bit over time, let me just go ahead and show y'all. Since I put work into it, I'm gonna post. I already posted it on Facebook, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it here real quick. I kind of impressed myself with this one, to be honest with y'all. Hold on. Where is it? No, I don't want to add a person. Where is the thing, Jesus? I want to image file. There we go. This is our guest this evening at 8 p.m. Tiffany Freeman will be with us. She is, let me tell y'all something. Oh, hold on, because I might actually be able to give you all a sample. Hold on for 1 second. Where is the thing? I don't know if, oh shoot, where is it? Hold on. I might be able to let y'all go out with this today. Where is it? I think I deleted it. Yeah, I sure did. I have a performance. I'll post it before tonight, but I have a performance that Tiffany did in Connecticut almost 2 years ago, spring of 24, as Grace by Nia was doing auditions for Grace by Nia at Foxwoods. We went to Foxwoods, and I'll post the video. Y'all are info. I'm going to try to get her to sing tonight on camera. So, all right. Tonight, 8 p.m. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., 6:30 p.m., 8 p.m. That's it. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I think I got everything covered. Frederick, his birthday was Monday, y'all. So please wish that good brother. It's funny because in text I call him one thing and here I call him another. Wish that brother a happy birthday. He's doing some great work in community. And so before we get ready to go, just share some love with him and wish him a happy birthday. Let me check in over on Instagram that I forgot about real quick. And then we are definitely getting ready to wrap up. Okay. We are all set over on Instagram, and I don't see any birthday wishes for Brother Frederick yet. I know we're about 17 seconds behind. Wish that black man a happy birthday, y'all. And we will get ready to go. Yes, mother, Tiffany from TTOP. I knew my mother was good. Tiffany is also a church girl, which I know lends to her vocality. She is a beast. Oh, Mama Java said happy birthday. I think she did. There goes Miss Teresa. And Sister Debbie. Speaking of birthdays, Monday is a queen's birthday. Mama Java's birthday is Monday. So Mom, make sure over the weekend you send me your Cash App. I'll put your Cash App up for your birthday for Mama Java. All right. That is it for me. And Union Capital folks, you all get I'll stay on here for 4 more minutes so y'all can get an hour and a half today. Let's talk about the weather, since that's you all's joke when you try to extend time on me. The weather today is going to be in the 50s. Right now, it is 46. The highest today is going to be 49. Tomorrow is going to be 56. And then, as I said to Dr. Funmi, that 16 degrees next week is no longer there. The lowest I see for next week so far is 20 degrees. So, and speaking of this weather, my grandmother used to call this pneumonia weather. Y'all keep y'all jackets and stuff on outside. I don't care if it is 70 degrees, right? Oh, and speaking of warm weather, little early to do it, but every year, in respect to this brother that's an ancestor now, Brother Leroy Peoples, Bum, the first hot day of the year, he may do it in the morning and I would do it in the afternoon, and we would, text and say, talking about our post, with the warm weather coming. But that's not really for you all. We're going to have to figure out a way to ensure that those that are funded to work with young people and city entities who has it in their mission to prevent, intervene, and respond to violence, and also proactive, positive youth development, we need to figure out a way to be intentional. And I say that based on the fact that I had seen on social media yesterday that some young people were throwing ice blocks off the parking lot at South Bay. Warm day, first warm day of the season, somewhere in these entities that are funded or within the city, with South Bay being an ongoing issue with young people. In whose mind did it pop up that, hey, we might just want to, ask one of our grantees to go hang out over at South Bay. We might want to go over to South Bay. We might want to ask maybe a couple of undercover, not antagonizing, but just to be present. Everybody knows that South Bay is an issue when it comes to our young people. Forecast was saying that we're going to have above 65 degrees. So that's my piece there. And I still got 2 minutes left. But insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. And that could be applied in so many areas. And it just baffles me that it doesn't click. I had a conversation with someone in the administration yesterday. And I got to a point where I was stuttering because I couldn't articulate. Y'all know if I can't say something, that's a problem. Milagro, Jimmy, you have you drank water? If not, Alexa, you made me say it, but she didn't hear me. I did drink water this morning. When I got up, I'm trying to do better at keeping a bottle of water right next to the bed. So when I first get up, before my feet hit the floor, thank you, Jesus. Gunk, 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 gunk. So I'm getting there. Sharon Cornelius, he said 16, 20 degrees, the same thing. They said 20. Well, they said 20. One of the days said 24. All right, it's 11:01. I'm done running my mouth. We'll see you guys tomorrow. No, we'll see you tonight at we'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace, y'all.